Hey everyone, welcome back. Grendel's rework was just announced on the most recent dev stream, and honestly, I was a bit worried about them ruining his kit for existing playstyles. Instead, Pablo has showed his magic once again and streamlined the kits, added new bonuses, and even buffed pre-existing values. Let's take a closer look at what's going on. His one, Feast, is now capped to 5 enemies instead of 30. Yes, I know this is a nail in the coffin for the eat the entire world type of builds after the original 30 limit that was imposed when the Gorman augment was introduced earlier this year. That let us get to crazy amounts, like 90 plus enemies eaten that could consistently crash your game. Anyways, this also means Gorman as the augment no longer is as useful with only 5 enemies max. The drain on Feast is now removed, so instead Gorman is now going to give extra armor per enemy eaten. It still converts the cast cost into health cost instead. Grendel's passive used to give 50 armor per enemy eaten and is now being buffed to 250 each, with a cap of 5 enemies. This means you can now get up to 1250 bonus armor. With this 150 armor bonus that Gorman will give per enemy eaten, I don't know if this scales with strength, but hey, if it does, he does have an AoE armor strip on his kit that I will touch on later, so building for strength would help both of these abilities. A 300 strength build would mean 450 bonus armor per enemy eaten, plus the 250 from his passive, and cap to 5, or a bonus 3500 armor. The icon in the corner also now shows Grendel's victim as they sit in his stomach, complete with their current HP and shields and whether or not the armor is removed. Casting his 2 will consume them, but it's honestly not too hard to eat enemies up since there's no longer an active drain with them in your belly. Also, remember the Thundershock Grendel build I recently made? Well, Tenet Ferrox is coming with Lua Spray too. You'll be grabbing it from Ergo Glass and Relays for 40 hollow keys, but we have no idea about the Altfire stats. If they buff the damage on the AoE pulse or increase the duration beyond 30 seconds, you will get even more damage and even more time to run around Thundershocking the talent to death before you have to reset the rotation. I'm really looking forward to this, and this build completely annihilates the first hour or 2 of Steel Path and is super fun. Because of the meatball changes to be a lot more user-friendly on the movement physics, this also means the funny roller Thunderball Grendel variant will also be much easier to use. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can check it out on the top right. His 2 has been massively buffed. That Toxin weapon buff, it's changed to be viral damage now. It's also his helmet, so every frame can now get viral damage for weapons on demand as a helmet. It's also buffed from base 50% to 100% elemental to bring it in line with the other buffing abilities like Shock Trooper, Smite Infusion, etc. S2 also has compressed all 3 variations of the sub-abilities together. You literally get all buffs at once. Nourish Strike, Energy, and Armor buffs. Eat an enemy to get more effective energy orbs, scaled with strength. Nourish Strike now gives you viral damage as I mentioned instead of Toxin, at base 100%, scaling with strength. But perhaps most crazy is Nourished Armor. It has been changed. Currently, enemies hitting you will cause an AoE Toxin splash in 8 meters, with a 1 second cooldown. After the update, this will force proc 10 viral stacks in an AoE around you, and scales with range for the 8 meter hitbox. It also stuns enemies when they get hit. Shield Gate memes anyone? Remember, Grendel has garbage shields, so you can get his max shields back with any cast, and Shield Gate lasts 1.3 seconds. So his 2 stunning enemies and massive AoE viral procs will always allow you to shield back up while using it as an insane crowd control tool. His 2's augment used to scale off a number of enemies in his gut, and since it is now capped to 5, it will be changed to have much higher base status duration per enemy sucked. His 3 and 4 have been switched around per their opinion that his Meatball is more appropriate as a utility tool than an ultimate. So now we have Meatball as his 3. What has changed? The physics is a lot more intuitive, so less momentum and less weight. You can go up ramps now, whereas he needed speed before to do so. Basically, remember when Archwing was changed from being realistic flight simulator to our more arcadey style it is now? Yeah, so when do we get the same treatment for Necromech DE? Anyways, you can cast all his abilities while in Meatball, and you can eat enemies, which is handy because his Meatball only drains enemies if you have no enemies in your stomach, so if they die, well now just presses 1. We will also have to wait and see if you can cast Helmet abilities while in this form, because if you can, well, we can run Terrify to active cast now instead of Roar like our current Thunder Ball Grendel setup needs. Uneru is still handy even if we can't bring Terrify for the Meatball, and with the buff Tenet Ferrox, we will rip apart Acolytes even faster. He is also getting passive health regen added to his meatball, so with the stun and viral procs of his 2, easy max shield gate by casting any invisibilities if you have a key equipped because of his base shields being so low, Grendel is now literally invincible in every game mode outside of endurance. Grendel's 4, now his Regurgitate, is the other big one. Simple changes but extremely impactful. Regurgitate is now his ult and now also strips armors. It seemed like they buffed the base radius from 5 meters, but I'm not exactly too sure. The important part is it now strips armor in an AoE of the hit with the 70% base. So 143 strength to full strip, but you will probably be incentivized to build strength anyways because of the buffs on his 2, and the viral buff on a full strip build would be lethal. All of this is looking to be a massive quality of life update to Grendel that makes him much easier to play. Less ability spammy, better support utility, gaining AoE armor strip, gaining even more armor stacking, gaining significant amounts of passive health regen per second, gaining viral as the infusion to save 2 elemental mod slots instead of 1, and Nourish also being his helmet, meaning any frame can now get viral on their weapons, and the potential of Tenet Ferrox for Thundershock Grendel on the horizon. Tenno, we're eating good this update. Cheers! Stay tuned for my upcoming videos on what else the dev stream showed us coming with Lua's Prey in 2 days. If this is your first time watching, feel free to leave a like or better yet subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. 79.5% of you are not subscribed. I'm trying my best to get you new information out always as soon as possible, like I've done with the Lua's Prey update. Stick around if you want to see interesting memes and builds on a nearly daily basis. You don't want to miss out on any of that, do you? That'll be it for this video. I'll leave you with the rest of Steel Path footage content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Find your way into this wonderland.